Another weekend of football has been completed, and what a weekend on the field, but especially this time also off the field with some big breaking news. And if it's true that at the end of January, we, fans of football, we are used to say welcome to some new faces, to some new players, we already know as well that sometimes it can happen that we have to say goodbye to some of our players that are leaving the club because they are announcing that they go to another club. Well, yesterday and the last few days, two clubs, especially the one of Barcelona and Liverpool, they decided to change entirely the game because they are not saying goodbye to players, but they are saying goodbye to their coach, Jurgen Klopp from Liverpool and Xavi from Barcelona. We'll speak about that and also trying to understand who can be their successor at the club for season 24-25. And obviously we'll continue to speak about what happened last week and you couldn't miss, and what will happen this week with one or maybe even more big games that will have to be played that are already on the agenda for this weekend. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. Please continue to subscribe and share the channel with your family and friends that are loving football. My name is Giuseppe and together we'll cover football. We start with something that I already told you that would happen, something that it was easy to anticipate. Anfield was a show, and not only because they won 5-2 in FA Cup, but especially because before the game all the fans from the entire stadium were singing for Jurgen Klopp, that famous "You Will Never Walk Alone." Fantastic scenes at Anfield. It was extremely beautiful, and it's true that we had to wait until the end of the game to understand if Van Dijk will continue or not. He said, I don't know, because a lot of things will change at the club, and depending on these changes, I will decide with the club if I can continue with the Reds next season as well. If Jurgen Klopp is certain to leave and he will not come back on his decision, well, for Van Dijk the discussions are open. And maybe there is one coach that can ask him to stay or maybe make sure that he's leaving. It is Xabi Alonso. For what reason? Because he is the favorite one to join Liverpool at the end of the season. He is the only name that in Liverpool they are speaking about. Will he be the young Spanish coach or someone else? We'll discover it in the future, but pay attention, Xabi Alonso, because if your dream is to join Liverpool after doing what Jurgen Klopp did, means winning the Bundesliga, pay attention, because Bayern Munich is coming closer and closer and closer. Why? Because yesterday they were not able to beat their opponent. They did 0-0 against Borussia Mönchengladbach. 3-2 instead away from Bayern Munich, that were a bit lucky because at the end, at the 88th minute, they saw that the opponent team was not able to score a penalty with Michel. Lucky for them, 3 points won for them, 2 points that they were able to close the gap with Leverkusen. At the moment they are there at -2 after 19 match days. The one that did extremely well in Bundesliga is Dortmund, that since Sancho arrived, he didn't score yet, but he's able to make sure the most important thing happened, means win, 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 win. And yesterday it was actually Füllkrug that was there on the podium, that was there on the number 1 position, because he was able to score a fantastic, beautiful hat-trick that gave the 3 points to the yellow and black team. Leverkusen, we know it, is a team that is doing extremely well and they don't lose since a lot of time. We know it, why Liverpool is looking at Xabi Alonso. Not only because he was an ex-player, but also because of what he's able to do. If you are looking at the before Xavi, well, they were 17th in Bundesliga, while now in 23-24 they are there on top with +2 after 19 match days, losing 0 games this season. From one side we go to the other one that is leaving with certainty. It is Xavi, with Laporta that is saying se la juega con Xavi. Laporta is continuing, will play until the end of the season with Xavi. He knew already since the 17th of January that the Spanish coach would leave the team, but because he is a legend and not yet as a coach but as a player, well, he decided to continue to trust him. Of course, he's expecting a total U-turn because looks like it's not even La Liga that will be a possibility. If a few days ago we were speaking about Mission La Liga, well, after yesterday or this weekend losing 5-3 against Villarreal, even La Liga is in difficulty because they are already there at -10 from Real Madrid at the second. They are now equal points with Atletico Madrid and they are at -11 of Girona. 75 wins are a lot for Xavi, 21 draws, 26 losses, a bit too much for a coach that is leading the Blaugrana. Girona is first after they win 1-0 yesterday. That's a beautiful one. And now we are speaking about the casting post-Xavi. Who can join Barcelona after Xavi? Well, there is one name that we just spoke about. Not Xavi, but Jurgen Klopp. Even if he said he needed a mental break, he needed to enjoy a bit before coming back, well, he's there on Mundo Deportivo as one of the 6 coaches that can replay Xavi at the end of the season. And next to him, Sergio Conceição for Porto, Thiago Motta, the surprising young coach of Bologna. You have Hans Flick, that at the moment is actually an easy option. Why? Because he's not coaching any team. Arteta from Arsenal, even if Arteta said yesterday, I'm going nowhere. I stay at Arsenal, and the news that you were able to read online are extremely annoying. It is only a fake news. I'm going nowhere. I'm staying here at Arsenal because we have a medium long-term project. Who is the 6th name? Well, we are speaking about Imanol, the coach of Real Sociedad, that is doing extremely well. There is one name that is not on the page of Mundo Deportivo. It is Roberto De Zerbi, Brighton coach, that a lot of people are seeing as the future coach of Manchester City, the successor of Pep Guardiola. Well, bad luck, because Pep Guardiola didn't say that he will leave. At the moment, he's continuing with the citizens, and De Zerbi could be the ideal coach for Barcelona. If you want my opinion, I believe that the wedding between Roberto De Zerbi with his idea of football and the idea, the DNA of Barcelona to play football, to play with the ball, could be a really beautiful wedding for both of them. On the other side, well, pay attention for Barcelona, because if it's true that Xavi will leave at the end of the season, a big U-turn is expected from Laporta, because 120 million are at stake. It's not only La Liga they are targeting, but they want to go as far as possible in Champions League. We know it. If they continue to win, they have that possibility to qualify for the FIFA World Cup for clubs that will happen in 2025. If they are eliminated extremely soon of the competition Champions League of this season, they can even say goodbye to that one. Something that would actually change all the plans of Barcelona and Laporta for the successors. Marca is speaking about the team that I'm wearing the beautiful shirt from. We are speaking about Atletico Madrid. Fantastic, beautiful. And if you don't know, this is the Centenario shirt. If you want to know where I got it from, go into link into the description. 90 vintage football shirt, just fantastic. So many different beautiful vintage shirt. If you are a collector, this is the place to be. If you live in Belgium, they have a physical store. If you live abroad, they have also an online store. Now we continue with Atletico Madrid, because we are just speaking about it. Moise Kean this morning was doing the medicals. He will go there being the 4th striker, and he will reinforce the team of Diego Simeone that is dreaming to do big things even this season. Well, can Moise Kean from Juventus to Atletico Madrid bring them something? This is what they all hope, especially for a really cheap price, because he will be on loan for only 500,000 euro until the end of the season, without option, without obligation to buy. We go to Premier League, where today Sunsport is speaking about difficult things, serious things, things that we don't want to see in football, about what happened yesterday in FA Cup. I don't even want to mention it, because that picture already says a lot. We don't want to see these images in our beautiful sport that is football. On the other side, they're speaking about another problem for Erik ten Hag. I will deal with Rash, because yesterday he was not there in FA Cup. Rash that actually called in sick, but apparently some paparazzi, some people, some rumors are telling that he was not sick, but he was actually partying in some disco. After Sancho, maybe a new problem for Erik ten Hag, but he told it, I take accountability on that, I take responsibility on that, I will deal with it internally. It's an internal matter, he repeated a few times. Good news for Newcastle fans. Well, their player, their fantastic jewel, Lewis Miley, has just extended his contract, being part and maybe one of the jewels for the future of Newcastle. Fantastic news for a player that I really love, I really appreciate. There was one player that was about to leave Newcastle, and we are speaking about Kieran Trippier, but the deal is off with Bayern Munich. And he understood it and he said, I can only take Bayern interest as a compliment, but now I will focus on Newcastle that gave me so much and I have to be grateful and pay them back for all they gave to me. In Italy, they are all speaking about one thing, and it is not football. They are speaking about tennis, with Yannick Sinner being the first Italian one that was able to win a Grand Slam since '76. Fantastic, beautiful moment of history for Italy. But on the other side, they still continue to speak about football. With Inter, that yesterday was able to beat Fiorentina 1-0. In the last minute, Fiorentina missed a horrendous penalty, but the Inter totally deserved that win. They are solid, they are strong, and they are mentally now also prepared to go into the big clash of Sunday against the second one in the ranking, Juventus, with a big possibility to take a big gap and maybe already saying the Serie A, the Scudetto run is over. This weekend, Sunday will be epic with an Inter that is led by the one that is able to score 19 goals already in Serie A, Lautaro Martinez. And on the other side, you have Dusan Vlahovic that is on fire with Juventus scoring 6 goals in January. No other striker of the top 5 league was able in January to score more than him. And if it's true that everyone in Italy is waiting for that big clash to understand if yes or no there will be a Scudetto run, well, a lot of people, especially the Juve fans, are still asking themselves how was it possible that Massimiliano Allegri, coach of the Bianconeri, didn't choose to start Kenan Yildiz, but instead Milik, especially if we know that after 16 minutes Arkadiusz Milik did actually a big fall, a fall that gave him a red card and he had to leave all his teammates with 10, and that's probably also why they did 1-1, losing that momentarily, virtually third spot. Will it be an entertaining game? Will it be a game with a lot of goals? Well, if we are looking at the stats, we don't plan so, because Inter is the team that is conceding fewest goal per game, 0.48, followed by Nice with 0.58, who is finishing that podium. It is Juventus with 0.59. Two teams that are actually focusing a lot on solidity in defense and trying to be really strong when they go up. Will it be a 1-1 like in the home game? Well, we'll have to wait on Sunday. There is another game that will have to be played today in Serie A to finish and close match day 22. It is Roma that will go to Salernitana with De Rossi, ex-captain, on the field, that said we have to win. Even if it's in a dirty way, I don't care, but I want the 3 points coming back to Roma together with us when we will travel back to our home city. Well, Fabrizio Romano is anticipating that Salernitana, the small team in Italy, is trying with all their strength to go for a player. We are speaking about Jerome Boateng. After last season, Umtiti from Barcelona, after signing Ochoa, the small Italian team is also and always continuing to try to go for big ex-player at the end of their career. Well, that would be extremely beautiful for the small club, for the supporters of Salernitana that see these kind of ex-world star players. There is one that could leave Serie A at the end of the season, and it is Leao. With Milan fans that are sad and that are already start to fear Leao leaving, another one that are saying we are happy because it's not as clinical as we were wishing to, and we don't see that evolution. Well, after Osimhen, that looks like he will go to Chelsea or maybe another club at the end of the summer, at the end of the season, Leao could be the next one. Where could he go? Maybe with his ex-friend Tonali to Newcastle, but the people are speaking more and more about him being the target number one of Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain that yesterday couldn't beat Brest in home. They did 2-2 yesterday. They lost actually the possibility to continue to go there and fly super high in Ligue 1 because Nice, they won 1-0, which means that they are only not anymore at +8 but at +6 over Nice. Is Ligue 1 open again? Big question. We don't know. We'll try to understand it in the future. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Let me know in the comment if I missed some information. My name is Giuseppe. Thank you. We covered football.